Doom, doom, doom. It's Nightlife tapes. And honestly, we had to start the show a little promptly because we got into a deep talk here about high school and how much of troublemakers we both were. And I like that you decided to wear your Brother Rice shirt.
I didn't.
To the function.
This was not planned by any means. However, I'm rocking it. You know, I'm coaching back there. But we were talking about some of the stuff we got into. I was a bad kid in high school. I pray to God none of my current or former players see this. But honestly, if they do, it is what it is. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. I think that's how they say it, right?
Yeah, I think something like that.
But honestly, I'm more shocked to hear you weren't like. I definitely thought you were a much better kid growing up. Like,
I mean, you just didn't think I got in trouble?
No.
What makes you feel that way?
I think it's just because you're just such a nice kid. Like you're very genuine and just like nice. So I just don't. I would never associate you with trouble.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's my whole shtick.
I was gonna say, but I guess that's why you got away with what you got away with, right?
Well, I was just telling you, like before we started the show, yeah, like I definitely got into some trouble. I mean, just growing up skateboarding, that's illegal pretty much everywhere, or it was back in our day. So it's like that alone, when I'm 12 years old or like 11 even, you're already put into this troublemaker box because like everywhere is like a no skating zone and.
Yeah.
What used to piss me off so bad was people would like call me a stoner before I ever like even tried weed because it was just like I was a skater. You just assume that like skaters are stoners in the early 2000s. That was like a thing.
You were rocking the graffiti DC shoes.
I was rocking those. I had my own graffiti tag too that you'd see around town.
I believe that. I believe all of that.
That part I guess I shouldn't admit to that. So that was this is all
show. If the feds are watching, this is all for props. But yeah, I was an actual bad kid. I was just doing dumb shit all the time, fighting and smoking and drinking. Like I was just doing dumb shit. So, but I feel like most people that know me would probably be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Here's the thing. You could always be worse.
Facts. Hey, look. I ain't got no baby mamas. I ain't got no babies. I'm not in jail. Now, I only did one night in jail, but that was a completely different story.
Are we sure? I want to hear that story. Maybe let's talk about that.
Yeah. That one, it wasn't crazy, but it was like, that was when I got my MIP in college. In college, I got MIP'd. It was end of my sophomore year. It was 5 days after I turned 20, actually. I remember I had my birthday party at my boy's apartment, and it was wild, and no cops were called. We were really shocked. 5 days later, school is ending because my birthday's 4/20, so it's right like when school ends for college students, and we threw a party. Music is bumping. It wasn't even a big party. We just had loud music, and we had started drinking. Finals had ended. I just failed the final. I knew I failed it. So
that's the worst feeling in the world, by the way.
I knew. I was like, bro, I didn't do well on this. So poured up a couple shots, and I had 2 shots of Bacardi Limon. I'll never forget it. And all of a sudden, you hear pop, 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 and I was like, oh shit! And my boy goes, answers the door, cuts the music off. Cops. And we're like, oh. And so a few people, of course, they trying to hide and stuff like that. And he's in one of the apartments that's got like, it's not like in a basement, but it's like, how some of them have like the windows that are leveled to the ground so you can like climb out of them.
I know exactly what
you're
talking about.
Yeah. And so people are trying to climb out the windows. There's cops by the windows and stuff. Like
it was nighttime?
Yeah. And I was the first one to get called out and breathalyzed.
And you complied.
Yeah, he was like, have you been drinking? I was like, bro, I just ripped 2 shots. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. They were like, you want to give a breathalyzer? I was like, I don't have to, right? They're like, no, but you just tell us you took 2 shots. I was like, yeah, like, and I mean 2 shots.
First of all, this is a great.
I didn't give a damn. What, like, no matter what were they going to do? I was as honest as shit. Bro, go ahead, breathalyze me. Like, I thought I was good. I could have driven.
Hell no. You should have
shots.
said you weren't driving. You had no reason to breathalyze.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So,
Get you a good lawyer.
yeah, for real. I needed one. So I ended up getting mipped. And so it was weird. They like separated all, they breathalyzed like everybody. It was all this bullshit. They thought I had lied to them. I was like, I'm literally the first one that told you I was drinking. So me, and I was in a fraternity at the time, me and my little, he had one hand was broken. And so they handcuffed me and him together and put us in the back of the cop car. And so me and
Big brother got you in trouble.
Shout out my boy
doing?
Sonny. Dog. I love telling the story about Sonny. He's getting married soon, and I'm going to tell it at his wedding too. But we got handcuffed together. We're in the back of the cop car, and he's sobbing. He's sobbing, and we're interlocking fingers. And I'm like, dude, it's gonna be okay. Like we're fine, bro. As they're taking us to jail, I was like, dude, we're gonna be fine. Like, it's okay. And he's like, my mom's gonna kill me, and I'm over here, a criminal justice major. I'm like, I can still get a job in this field, right?
Which obviously you can,
right? And so yeah, they took us. Got to add a nice little mugshot. I got to find it. I printed out the mugshot too. I gave it to my mom. She was pissed when I told her.
Oh
yeah. But yeah, that was my night in jail. They let me out the next morning. I was like, can I get a ride back? They were like, fuck you. Gave me my shit and told me to fuck off. So.
Whole night? Were you like in a solo cell? Were you
yes. I was in a cell by myself while my boy and this other random girl were in their own cells. Like not far from me, but I could hear them both crying all night. I'm just on this cot like, dude, my dad is about to beat my ass. I'm screwed.
Damn.
But I was like, I might as well just sleep it off. So I passed out. It sucked because I wear glasses. They took my glasses. I couldn't see anything the entire night. So
that's brutal.
Yeah, dude, it was terrible. So those cots are not comfortable either. So yeah, it was jail in like downtown Rochester. Oh. So yeah, it wasn't anything fun.
Did they have pina coladas?
Dude, dog, that place sucked. It was cold and they were rude. So yeah, that was my one time in my night in jail. So other than that, I'm thriving, I swear. Yeah. You haven't been locked up at all, have you?
I've never went to jail. I was like falsely arrested one time.
Really?
And it sucked. I'll tell you the truth. So I'll tell you a story. So this was welcome weekend at Ferris. That was where I went. This was my junior year. So I was like, I finally, you go from like dorms freshman year, sophomore year, apartment, finally get a house. I got this like sweet house right on Warren in town. It was exactly where I wanted to be. And it's welcome weekend. So I get booked to DJ this gig at like, I don't even know if it was a frat house. I think it was just like at some random house. And it was like at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., kind of like a pregame DJ gig, right? Okay. So I play my gig and I'm a junior by now. So like, I'm not trying to get super wasted all the time and stuff. I was definitely
done it.
Yeah.
Like you used to it.
Very past that phase. So I do my gig. I make my money. I go home. I like chill out, make some dinner. And then I'm like, you know what? It's welcome weekend. People are out. I'm just going to go skate around and like just see what's up out there. Like, people are out on the streets, walking party to party. So I go out and I skate around and I'm out for like an hour. I go all around town. I get back on my street. I'm like, I could see my house. Like I'm riding towards the light of my house in the middle of the road. And next thing I know, 3 cops jump out of this car, 3 cops jump out of this car, freeze, slam me to the ground, push my head into the pavement. It took me by total shock and surprise. They emptied out like my pockets, right? Because they're like, I don't know. They thought I was their story was I matched the description of someone trying to steal a bike while I'm on a skateboard. Tell me how that makes fucking sense. I don't know. Long story short, so they slam me up against the cop car. They take all my stuff out of my pockets. They're like, oh, you're out here breaking into cars. Because I have like my car keys. I had a watch on my wrist that I took off. A, because I didn't want to fall on it skating, and B, because I had a little rash on my wrist. So like that was in my pocket. And dude, so like they take all my stuff and they like put me in the back of this cop car. Somehow they forgot. They didn't take my headphones out. So I'm in the back of this cop car. My headphones are in and my music's still playing. So I'm like sitting there for like probably a half hour. Like, well, at least I have music. Like, whatever. I was terrified. It was the first time I'd ever been in custody. And sure as shit, they come back maybe half hour later, felt like an eternity. And they were like, oh, the cop misidentified you, but they think you've been drinking. So we're going to give you a breathalyzer. And at this point, I hadn't been drinking at all, not even one drink. I've been in the back of this cop car for a half hour, and I literally just got tackled and basically manhandled. I got scrapes all over my just like brutal. So I'm like, give me a breathalyzer, let me get out of here. Like now, whatever. Knowing what I know now, I never would have done it. But at the time, I was just like, give it to me. I haven't done it, so I get to give the breathalyzer. They go out. They're all talking outside of the car. They're like, it didn't work. We need you to do it again. I'm like, dude, respectfully, like, you took me against, on false pretenses. You've kept me now for a half hour. I'm traumatized about this. Like, just let me go. Like, I'm not going to do your breathalyzer again. It already showed 0. They were like, oh, it's working now. So they faked an MIP, and they wrote 0.3 on one line and 0.03 on a different line.
Two very different numbers.
Two extremely different numbers. One, you're almost dead. One, you're
I would say 0.3, I ain't gonna lie, you're hospitalized off that.
Yeah.
And 0.03, you can still drive.
Exactly.
Like two very, very different numbers.
So thankfully, when I went to court, I didn't even have a lawyer at the time. I just like showed up in a polo shirt and hoped for the best.
You're wild. Didn't get a court appointed. You were just like,
no,
fuck it, we ball.
I showed up on the date that they told me to show up, and I talked to the prosecutor like before it went in or whatever, and I was like, look, man, like they were BSing from the beginning. Like I wasn't drinking. I wouldn't be here right now if I was drinking. I would have just taken the consequences. And the guy was basically like, I think you were up to no good that night, but because the cops had you on false pretenses, they should have just let you go. You should have never got this to begin with. Threw it out. So Big Rapids PD.
Jesus God, dude.
It was weird. Me? Like I had no faith or confidence in that police department. Like I was literally scared when I saw them around now. It was like strange.
Oh, true. That's true trauma. Like,
yeah. And like champagne problems, trust me, I understand people have had it a lot worse. But like for me, having just like, I'm just do about my day. And I'm next thing I know, face slammed into the ground like a freaking, like someone that just murdered someone.
Right. No, I think for anybody like that's terrifying. So I understand that.
Jesus. So that would have been welcome weekend before I turned 21. So that was probably like 5 months before I turned 21. So I'm not kidding you. I don't think I went out of the house after dark unless I was like DJing after that until I was 21.
Really?
I was terrified.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you ran from the cops?
Oh, yeah.
I know you've run a couple times.
Skateboarding, I mean, that's just what you do. Like, not so much now. I'm an adult now. And plus we have skate parks and it's way more like normalized. But dude, early 2000s, oh my God! You get out of there, whoop whoop, you're gone.
I don't know nothing about the skateboarding and stuff. I hopped a couple fences, but that was just off some BS. So, but you skateboarders, you thugs, you skateboarding menaces. Yeah, y'all had some problems. That's funny as hell. That's funny.
I mean, listen, they shouldn't build perfect ledges and perfect stair sets if they don't want us to skate it.
Right. I don't care what that sign says, and I don't care what Karen says. I'm a skate.
Look at it. It's too good to not skate it. Come on.
Yeah. Honestly, I think about this all the time with people that like I associate with now. Like, I'm like, would we have associated back in high school? Would we have been cool or like been friends back in high school?
You and I would have been cool, especially when I started selling weed around my senior year.
Yeah, I believe that. I think I sold a little bit my sophomore or junior year. But like, because you were smoking, we definitely would have been cool off that alone.
Yeah, well, I was just cool with everyone too, but like for whatever reason, like when that happened, I was cool with everyone.
Really?
Like,
I mean, everybody love a dealer.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I was a minor at the time too, so it's like, you know,
Right.
live and you learn.
It'd be like that. Yeah. I don't know. I think we'd have been cool.
We'd have been cool.
Absolutely.
I've rarely had beef with people unless they started it. I will say on that topic though of like beef or whatever. I remember this is probably a better story in my head than it is going to be out loud, but in high school there was like these hockey kids like freshman year that decided they just didn't fuck with me. And I didn't do anything to these kids, mind you. Nothing. One day they just started kind of like clowning me. And so they wanted to fight. Like that was their thing. Like we're going to like
Bro, this is like a TV show.
It was so strange, but they're like, we're going to settle this. And I'm like, all right, you want to settle this? Let's settle this. So I hit up like all my skate friends from out of town. Cause like I didn't hang out with people in my hometown. I would hang out with like, you know, like skate parks were surrounding towns and people would come from miles around to skate them. So I had friends from all over. And so like when I told them that was happening, like these hockey kids want to fight me or whatever, it was like, all right, it's on. They like rolled up to the school in like a motorcade.
Yo.
And like these kids, the hockey kids, bro, they pulled up and they just were like, I was like, so what's up? Like, are we doing this or what? And they were just like, bro, we're so sorry. Like, we don't want any trouble. Like, everything is all good. I was like, that's what the fuck I thought.
Remember how I called you a thug? That's it right there. That only further proves my point.
I'm just letting
I love that.
I'm letting you behind the curtain. You think I'm this, like, innocent guy. Like, no. I'll tell you what, working in nightlife and DJing, you get, like, you're getting punched in the mouth, like, constantly. At least, and at least I find myself in that. And my ability to, like, withstand that very much started in high school.
Early.
Yeah.
I don't know where my ability to withstand that was. I'd just be chilling, bro. But I think I've also always just kind of been like, bro, if you give me shit, I'm gonna rock your shit. Like, so I don't know. I've always kind of been more aggressive.
Well, you had like football to make you tough, right? Like I never had, like skateboarding didn't really make me tough. I think it just made me more like wiggly. Mm-hmm. So like what made me tough was just like overcoming whatever hurdles were in front of me, like by any means necessary, I guess. Facts. Shout out to my parents for teaching me hella lessons.
Hey, honestly, I also grew up. I had older cousins that would whoop my ass too.
Oh, nice.
They would beat my ass. I had my two twin cousins. Rest in peace to both of them. And they used to mess me up, dog. Like I'm talking, we're at the backyard cookout. They're throwing me against a wooden fence and like jumping on top of me. Like that toughened me up for sure. So yeah, that's funny, man. And we survived though. We're thriving young gentlemen now.
It's great.
I don't know about young. The age feels like it's hitting sometimes, but
you 30?
I just turned 31, dude.
Oh, it's not that old.
No, it's not. It feels old sometimes, especially in nightlife. Now with all these kids, especially like when college kids come back in, I'm like, oh damn, I feel really old.
I kind of like that aspect of it in some ways, though. Because it's like it reminds me that I'm here to do a job. Like not like I'm pretty good about not blurring those lines, but it really hits me when I look in the crowd. I'm like, oh, you guys are all like 12.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like it just triples down on like you're here to do a great job and make this place sound like incredible, and that's it.
And take your ass home. Mm-hmm. Truly.
Not here to make any friends. I mean, don't get me wrong. What happens naturally, but you just grind it, baby.
Truly, it is a job, but it's something you truly enjoy. For me, for you, I know you do it for a living. I do it because I truly love it. Like it's not my main job. DJing is not my main job, and it never has been. I just love playing music, and so but I do love networking and getting to know some of the people that come, especially like regulars. Like you see a lot of those college kids, same kids that come every weekend and
crazy. I'm like, where do y'all get this money?
Right, you feel me? I was
bottle poppers,
broke as hell in college. So that stuff is kind of cool. But then I really feel old because I've every once in a while, and I don't know if you've had it, I'm sure you have, but like every once in a while, like some kid from state will be like, hey man, any chance you'd come play my frat and back up in East Lansing? I'm like, can no longer go up there and play music. Not at all. There's no chance. Those days have long gone.
Yeah.
So,
do you how do you find it with like keeping the music relevant for a younger audience? Because I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it about just like figuring out what's hot and like, finding ways to make it work. But for a very long time, there was like, I felt like a lag, I think.
I still feel a lag. I meant to send you a reel. I posted on my private story, my close friends on Instagram, like yesterday, maybe the day before, I don't remember. But it was a DJ talking about nightlife now and like kids in clubs and stuff like that, and how weird music is now because like I feel like I still play so much old music, stuff that hit when we were in college and stuff that hit before we were in college and stuff like that. But like those are the club anthems. I was talking to one of the security guys this weekend. It's June 9th today. There isn't a song out that's a summer anthem right now. There's no summer anthem right now for 2025 summer. And so like music is weird now, and it pisses me off because TikTok killed a lot of it to a point where people only appreciate the snippets of music. Once the hook of the most popular songs are done, no one knows anything else because that's all they hear on TikTok. They care about that TikTok audio and once that special few lines, you feel me? Once those special few lines are done, bro, people they've lost interest. And so now you're like, you got to be a lot quicker with being able to find another song to keep their interest going and stuff like that. If you're playing newer stuff. So, I think nightlife has changed drastically. COVID just like, it didn't 180, but it did a real weird 90-degree turn into something that I don't think DJs and people that work in nightlife truly expected. And so it's kind of hard to navigate now. And so if you don't keep up with stuff, it is, it's difficult. So I still feel a lag from time to time. Every once in a while, you can find some new gems, for sure. But like outside of EDM and house music, artists aren't dropping music like they used to at all.
That's interesting. I find the biggest, and I feel like we somehow circle back to ego on every fucking show, but it's because it's like such a big thing in nightlife. Thing. But in this context, what's really helped me a lot with that is just checking my ego and not so much playing the songs necessarily like right in the minute, but like when people come up and are like, oh, you got to hear this song. Like this is like the new thing, like whatever. Instead of like that ego brain being like, oh, fuck that. Like, I'm not playing that TikTok thing. It's like, check it out. And maybe, maybe find a quick version of it or maybe like make a quick flip of it and like find a way to mix it into your set. I've tried to really like just keep an open mind about all the new trendy songs and not wait too long to mix them in. Cause I feel like it's so easy to wait, but it's like, if you play it today, it might be as hot as it's ever going to be.
In regards to waiting, and this is slightly off topic with it, how long do you wait to drop, like if a new song drops Friday, do you play it that same week? Like I arguably have a 1 to 2 week rule on new music. If it's hot, I have a 1 to 2 week rule because I want it to get hot. If I think there's a chance it's going to be hot, I want it to get hot before playing. So I wait at least a week, possibly 2.
Yeah.
Before dropping new music into sets.
It totally depends on like the song, really. Like I remember, I think I played TV Off like the day it came out in the club. But it like some other ones I'll wait. Like I don't know. It's totally just like how I'm feeling based on the song.
TV Off is definitely understandable because that had such a grasp on everyone immediately because of the drama surrounding Kendrick and Drake. Like that's easy because like everyone knew it dropped as soon as it dropped. Like I remember, was TV Off? Did it drop while we were DJing? One of a couple of the songs. No, Not Like Us dropped. I think while we were DJing, like while we were in the club.
Really?
Yes, I remember.
I didn't even know that
Because I remember, I remember getting a text from one of the bouncers at one club while I'm at another club, and he sent me the tweet of Kendrick just dropped, and I'm like, bro, not right now. I need to hear it, but you know, I was in the middle of playing, so yeah. But yeah, I guess it definitely depends on if it's hot immediately. I mean, drop it immediately.
Yeah.
If it's anticipated, if there's been build up to that song, if it's been anticipated, then that makes sense.
Yeah. I would skip it if it's like a what the fuck still, you know, if no one knows it.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like most people don't know the new songs.
One thing too that I think is good to bring up on the topic of just like mixing in new songs and playlisting, I guess, in general as a DJ. One thing I realized is like every song, like think about your night is like a neighborhood, right? And every song is like a piece of property in that neighborhood. And every like you go to any neighborhood and every property is going to have value, right? You're not going to like go to a neighborhood and like this house is worth like $500K and this one's worth $11, right? Mm-hmm. No, every property is going to have value. So what I'm getting at here is like I would encourage DJs, especially new DJs, to really like put thought into your song selection and the tracks you pick, because if you are like mixing in these like nothing songs that no one knows that are like that you think are cool or like whatever, but like no one else does. If you're in, I mean, maybe there's a time and a place for it, but if you're in like a mainstream crowd or like a poppin' establishment that's like trying to make money, I just would skip a lot of those tracks that are not like total fucking smash or like have the potential to be.
That's interesting to hear coming from you, knowing how much you like to test your limits with what you play for crowds.
But I don't do it like blindly, right? Like I'll test my limits for 30 seconds or or a minute, and then I'll catch it with something that people know. Like right, I like to give people that release and like that moment of like, oh shit, what's this? But then it's like you got to hit them with something familiar right away. Right. Whereas like I don't want to name any names, but I was like popping around the other week and it was like I saw this DJ play like 3 unknown songs like back to back to back.
Oh,
and
no.
Like the crowd was just like they were done, bro. Yeah. Like they were just like, what is this? Which is like, okay, maybe it's good to do that sometimes to clear the dance floor to get people to the bar. If that's your reasoning, I get that. However, that probably wasn't that DJ's reasoning, and they probably didn't have reasoning. But a good podcast, I did a CHOFF cast with my buddy Stick, and he had an amazing take on that. And his take was basically like, your job is to be an entertainer, not an educator. Stop trying to educate people.
Ooh, that's hot.
And a lot, like, that is not something people want to hear because everyone wants to be the cool educator as a DJ. But, like, there's, again, time and a place. If you're at a venue that's, like, known for showcasing experimental music, that's your time to be an educator. Right. If you're playing at, like, a mainstream spot that's got, like, you know what I mean? It's just, you just don't, that's just not what you do.
Dude, that is an unbelievable phrase or statement. I like that a lot. And come to think about it, I don't think I've ever really wanted to be an educator. Like I like the shit that's hot. Like I want what everyone knows. Like that's because I want the energy. Like I think I'm scared sometimes to be an educator, to be honest.
I love being an educator when that's my job. Like when I get booked as CHOFF the producer and I get to play like my own shit and I get to go deep in my bag and the crowd is like not even expecting that, but like there for that. Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite things in the world, and that's one of the things that made me fall in love with DJing to begin with and allows me to keep loving it in those moments. However, I have a very clear head as far as when that's the role and when that's not.
And see, I don't produce like that. So I understand. I guess if I'm going to educate, I'm going to educate you on, you probably didn't think these songs would mix together, or you didn't think of this like my education is my transitions. Like, you know, that's what I pride myself on. Like I think I have some dope transitions and whatnot. So like that's what I'm about. So in regards to educating you and bringing in new music, not as much. I want the stuff that is going to get the club pumping no matter what, kind of stuff. Every once in a while I'll experiment and try something new, but like I'm not the educator type. Damn, that's a really good statement. Stick hit it on the head with that one. I like that one.
And I learned so much of that from him too. Like, you know, when I first started DJing the radio events, I was basically trying to like force feed this dubstep shit that I liked onto a radio crowd, and it was like
that on a radio crowd is wild.
I mean, I loved it, but it was definitely like, you know, it wasn't nearly as effective as just putting on Party in the USA. And
right.
So I put my
it was probably slightly humbling.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I've always, like you were kind of saying, I like to teeter that line. I like to give a little bit of the best of both worlds, but I do it with intention and with a clear path of like, my job is to entertain. I might throw them off a little bit in between those moments, and that's kind of part of my act. But I'm not just gonna go AWOL and just play a bunch of random shit and have everyone very confused as to why they're there.
And the thing is, if you can bring them back by the next song, then like you're fine.
That's the best.
You feel me? If you can bring them back by not everything, dude. And it sucks. And sometimes I have to remind myself, not every single song you play throughout the night can be a hit.
But it should have. I believe if you're in like that sort of environment where you're paid to entertain people, like it should have some kind of vision, like some kind of goal. Okay, I'm gonna play this, and this just comes from experience. Like obviously, if you're a new DJ, all of this probably sounds like mumbo jumbo, means nothing. But like coming from my lens of having done this for 12 years professionally now, this is like there's just a way to go about it.
Absolutely, and when I say every song's not going to be hit, it's more of because the way a song or a couple songs hit one night, it just may not hit that way the next night. The crowd is completely different. The energy is different. The vibe is different. You know, sometimes you walk into some of these clubs, and sometimes the vibe is just a little more high energy and electronic music. Like that's just what they want. They want a little more house. They want upbeat. They want a fist bump. You know, that's what they're feeling. And then some nights they're not feeling that at all. Sometimes they just want hip hop. They want twerk. You know, that's just, it really just depends. So, you know, it's really about, you know, while song selection is one of the utmost important parts of being a DJ, you know, so is being able to read the room. If you can't read the room, man, I don't care how much you can scratch. I don't care how much you can use your effects. You know, if you can't read a room and know what to play, you kind of screwed.
You're toast.
You're screwed. Like, go home. Back it up.
Back it up.
So yeah, that's damn. We got into some shit today.
Yeah.
We got into some shit today. We talked a little bit about our young dumb selves. But I wouldn't say dumb. They're just experiences that helped us to grow into being fine young gentlemen now.
I have no regrets.
I don't. I'm very thankful for every experience I've had. It's built me into, I'd like to say, a pretty okay dude now. So
I think you're doing good.
Thanks. I think you're doing good, dude.
Thanks, BWalk.
Proud of you, man.
Proud of you. We didn't have to do this, but
we didn't. We didn't. Oh, I don't know what episode number this is.
Episode something. We got tons of old shows. Go back and check them out. We're going to be recording tons of new shows. Stay with us. You're going to want to hear the stories of the summer. We're going to be talking about all of our gigs, talking about all of our craziness.
Fun. And we got to get some guests on. I need to do some people. We've got people asking to come speak.
I know. I've had some people hit me up too.
So we got some other local DJs that need to come spit some knowledge and some wisdom.
Yup.
So
we'll get them in. We'll make it happen. This is Nightlife Tapes. I'm CHOFF.
I'm BWalk.
And subscribe and come back for the next episode.
See y'all soon.
Of Nightlife Tapes. doom, good doom.